LCARA Ham Radio presents a Time Machine Tuesday vintage video release.
Welcome to Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association. You can find us at LCARA.net, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. If you're enjoying the videos we're producing here at LCARA, please help our club out by hitting that subscribe button. Also, give us some feedback on our videos. Click the like button, share with anybody who may find it interesting, and be sure and hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified of the next video release. Well, good morning, folks. This is Chris, KY4CKP. And this week I wanted to kind of give everybody an update on the mobile installation that I have in my vehicle. I have been working to not only upgrade the VHF-UHF radio that I was using, which was a Baofeng 25X4 25 watt, technically a 4-band radio, but here in the US we have access to 3 of the bands, and that includes 1.25 meters to go with 2 meters and 70 centimeters, to the Anytone new 578 3 Pro, which is a tri-band radio, but it's 50 watts. And I was going to need to change the where I was connecting for power. The Baofeng, excuse me, at 25 watts, I could just plug that into the 12 volt accessory adapter inside the vehicle. But for the new radio, I needed to go out straight to the battery, just like I had done for the FT891 that you saw in the previous video, and you can see here on the screen. And I was going to need to rearrange how I had things configured up here on the dash, because the Anytone is physically a lot bigger than the Baofeng. So I was just going to be rearranging some things, redoing the connections to the battery in the engine compartment. I was going to be putting in some Anderson power pole fused pigtails and some things like that. So I just wanted to put this together, this update, and get this uploaded. Now, again, just to give folks some ideas on what they might want to do with their mobile radio, or maybe even to get in to mobile radio. So we'll dive into the details of what I've done here in the last couple of weeks in the next segment. All right, so here we are in the engine compartment for my vehicle, looking at the battery, which is a pretty heavy-duty dual-purpose battery, deep cycle starting battery, which has a really good amount of capacity for running accessories and things. A little bit more so, certainly, than kind of a typical car starting battery. And you can kind of see here, and we'll get a close-up in a moment, the accessory adapters that I was adding to the battery terminals. It just gets aggravating trying to keep adding things to the native terminals on a battery. And so I found these adapters that allow you to have, I think it's 6, mounting points. So you just add these to your main battery terminals, and then you get 6 additional mounting points. So we can see a little bit better here. And so what I wanted, maybe it's 4 mounting points, but what I wanted to do is I had run some temporary power for the new Anytone, but I wanted to get in some heavy-duty pigtails that were fused, and also starting getting switched over to Anderson power poles for ultimate connectivity. This is the power cable I had run for the Yaesu FT891HF radio, and I had put these alligator clips on there, and it was a fused line. Works great. I had that in there for 6 or 8 months, whatever. But again, I wanted to switch over to more stable connections that are screw ring terminals, but then still fused, and then also have the Anderson power poles. So that's what I was going to switch out to. So just another view of those accessory ports. There's different styles of these. These are the ones that I went with. They're not terribly expensive. Mount those to the main battery post, and then you've got 4 nice positions there where you can add additional accessories. And so I've still got some room left. I made the 2 connections for these 2 radios, and I've still got some room left. So here we're going to take kind of a quick view of these new pretty heavy duty gauge pigtails that I got. Now I went ahead and bought these. I could have made these, but I didn't have any cables that were fused in line, so I was going to have to buy that. And you can buy those that are bare wires on the ends, and I could have put my own ring terminals on, and I could have put my own Anderson power poles on. but I could just as easily buy it. They weren't very expensive. And then on the power leads coming from the radios, I did go ahead and cut off what I had there, and I put Andersons on those sides. So if you have some Anderson power poles, it can be worth investing in to get a decent crimper and to get some of the components, the plastic components and things, because then you can make up your own cables whenever you need to. So here we've got things connected, and I've still got two additional places where I can connect accessories here in these new accessory terminals. Started to route the wiring back through the firewall. We'll see that here in a moment. To the inside of the cabin. Fished it up behind the dash up to where I have things mounted on the dash for my vehicle. There was sort of a little cubby area that I took over to put radios and also a power adapter and some things like that. So I brought everything in through the main port of the firewall. Most vehicles are going to have one of these already in there. You may just have to look around for it a little bit. So had already routed the power cables through there. So went through the firewall and came out into the vehicle, and then again fished it up, kept it pretty neat, fished it up through the dash up to where I have the radios. So if you're doing this for the first time, take your time, plan your route, plan things out just a little bit, and make sure you don't get routed into a bad spot or anything. And it shouldn't be a big deal. So here we're inside the car. We've come through that main port. I've got that conduit coming in because the main unit for the FT891 is in the rear of the vehicle, and I've just got the remote head, up here at my dash. So you see some conduit and some lines that are heading towards the back of the vehicle if you could turn around 180 degrees. So this again is a picture of the original setup I had. The head for the 891 and an external speaker, and then the little Baofeng unit slipped right underneath the L bracket that I fabricated, and I made a little sun shield just to go in there, just something simple. And this worked really good for me. The Baofeng was a decent radio, and I had decent performance out of it for 25 watts. And of course, the 891 is pretty nice. But I wanted to switch over to this new Anytone. It's a much nicer radio. It is much more expensive, so we would expect it to be a little nicer. But I had to kind of rearrange things. So I ended up putting the Anytone on the top of this bracket and moving the speaker and the remote head for the FT891 up to the bottom of the bracket, which worked out really well. So you can see here I've just switched them and I've mounted them to this bracket I made with some material you can get usually from Lowe's or Home Depot or a hardware type store. And I mounted that into my dash. And I've tried to put it, the fewest number of holes and things in the dash that I can, so that if I take all this out, it's not going to be too ugly. And here's both the radios. They look great. They sound great. I've got some clips right here coming up where you can hear them running with some nice contacts going on. And it turned out very nice. Actually, a little bit simpler than I thought it might have been. I was afraid I might have to fabricate a whole new bracket and everything. So let's take a quick listen to just some stations I picked up.
Rather than spend your money trying to grow it yourself and then still have a chance of a breaker and getting it on you after all. It's got plenty of salamander jerks coming on at the same time. And that's why he likes to do it, so he don't mess with it all the time. But gosh, he was tired of picking beans and corn, but he had enough corn out that two coal districts that got issued Whiskey Victors for novices. They ran out of the KNs. As you know, you got a KN for KN8. It's Whiskey Victor 2, a Kilo Bravo uniform. But that was in December of '59.
All right, so that was just a couple of samples there of just some stations I was picking up just right there in the driveway after I had mounted everything and got things going. I've used the new Anytone 578 on a couple of trips down to where my ham club is, which is about hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half each way, and just a little bit here in town. I'm going to do some more testing with it, but I can already tell that the electronics are definitely better, more sensitive. I can pick up my club's repeater from further away and get a stronger signal. So that's going to be nice. And of course, I expected that, being that it's, again, a good quality radio and quite a bit more expensive than the Baofeng. But the Baofeng was a nice little radio, and I got a lot of good use out of it, and I'll find another use for it now as well. So again, if you've ever had thoughts about doing radio in the car like I did, the first thing I did was buy an inexpensive radio and try it out for a little while and just see if you're going to like it, see if you enjoy it, or if you just find it annoying or whatever. I do spend some time in the car either going to and from one of my ham clubs, or I do travel regionally for work, and I drive for some of that kind of stuff. So there's times where I do spend a good amount of time in the car, but you may just want to try it out just simply with some inexpensive equipment. And if you find you're liking it and enjoying it, you can always, as I did, kind of upgrade and maybe add an HF rig later. So just wanted to kind of do this update on the setup here. I'm going to use it and be enjoying it and do some further testing with it. And that's pretty much it, folks. I just wanted to show some of the things that I did and some things I found. Those accessory adapters for your battery terminals are pretty nice. If you've got some things going on in the vehicle, could even include Citizens Band radio or whatever you might be doing. But that's pretty much it for this one. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. This is Chris, KY4CKP, for Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association. Get out there, enjoy your hobby. We got field day coming up this weekend. Hope to see people on the air. 73.